It's always a wonder when it really happens, when it really works. Mhm. Are we going to have it? Yes, we do. It's going to work. It's working. It's there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Breakfast with Max. Family values. So we're going. This is a very Christian transmission where we are going through all of those things that have been transmitted by the only truth, the family. That was a joke. That was good, though. A Christian conservative. Finally. Oh, no, it's not gonna happen. Sorry. Not sorry. That was funny. Channeling finally has got to me. It's too fun. Oh gosh, I'm tired. Can you tell? Yeah, bad jokes. I'm the only one laughing. Yeah. Welcome. And whenever you join, it's always now, so your energy is already part of this transmission. And yeah, I mean, yes, I was joking, obviously, with conservative Christian stuff, but not as much as I wish I were. Yeah. It's Christmas time, family time. Everyone is happy, everyone is nice, because obviously, you know, the Christian tradition says that you can be a bitch all year long, except at Christmas. At Christmas, everyone is nice. Everyone shows their very best side. A lot of heart, a lot of love, up until the 26th. Then started December 26th, you can just bitch everyone. Because who cares, right? For nearly 11 months in the year, you can be a bad human being. Except for Christmas, because Jesus is watching. Christmas is very important. Jesus was born, and so you have to be respectful of Jesus. And for once, really love the children. No, I mean, not in the Christian way. Love them with your heart, only with your heart, right? Don't not what they're doing, right? Those things, no, with your heart, only that. Yes, I know, the joke is ended, but yes. I was born in a Christian Catholic family, traditional, in a traditional, very well close to Italy, where we speak Italian there. So even though it's not Italy, but we are very close to that. So the idea is quite even though they don't like it, well, they are. This region is really very Italian, and so those are the values, right? The Christian values, Catholic values, but called Christianity and this kind of things. So I think, I don't know if you have seen my one of my previous videos. So I was born in such a family, but that didn't protect me as a child from being abused and all of those things. So, you know, when I talk about family values, you have to intend it as very, very sarcastic in the religion point of view, right? Because this is one thing that are really, for me, when I think about the religion as it is pretended to be, there is a I think where I say, well, regardless of that, this is a religion based on Jesus Christ, right? So I say, if I have to know what Christianity ought to be in the regard of Jesus being the voice of that religion, well, I go and check what Jesus said in order to know how things are. I let go of everything else. It's not important. What it's called Christianity because of Jesus Christ. It's Christianity because of Jesus. So, right, if I have to, that's how I will approach the cult. I will approach Jesus, not the Roman Church. The Roman Church, ignore it because it's the power, right? It's what has been created by a Roman emperor, and when you know that has been created by a Roman emperor, well, the only thing that you can understand from that is power, politics. And then I think that I understood very early on is that if Christianity was about religion, about that thing, right? Souls and saving God and Jesus and all that, it will be based on Jerusalem. No, or it will be based in what we call the Holy Land. It will not be based on Rome. Rome is the place it is only because of power and politics, because it was the center of the world. It was capital of the world back then, right? But as of religion, it should be Jerusalem. Let's take Jerusalem. But it's not the case. So it is obvious for me that that religion, the Christianity that is based, that comes from the Roman Church, even though now you have a lot of things that derive from them, it's not about religion, it's not about spirituality, it's not about souls, it's not about saving people or hell or paradise. It's about politics. That's the end of it, and you have said everything about it. There is nothing to say. Because if that was that, it was based on Jerusalem. Jerusalem will be the center and the only center of that religion. It's not the case, so forget. And as I was saying, so I will base it only and completely on Jesus. And then when it comes to children, Jesus said, when you harm a child, you are harming me. So which that goes to say that the highest authority in the religion is saying that you cannot harm children. And so if you harm children, you are not a Christian. You are a criminal from the point of view of the religion, right? So, and I absolutely and perfectly know that these are only point of views and the way I'm seeing it. And that everyone will have their own interpretation, and everyone will take and pick what they want to do, because, well, that's what we do and what we are allowed to do. But yeah, absolutely. Nevertheless, even though what I'm saying is really very, at the same moment, who cares? But that is what I take from there. And then, therefore, for me, if we go into family value from a religious Christian cult point of view, that means that in a Christian family, children have to be protected and not harmed. Yeah, I know the joke is keep going, right? I stopped joking, but it's like now I'm more joking than when I was joking at the beginning. And you see, this is all of this is fun because I it's because all of this. Now, let's stop joking. All of this is very okay. But the truth of the matter is what? Is that none of this has any real meaning until we just give it any meaning, any attention, any way of, right? Because the only authority is me, even not Jesus. Jesus is an image. Jesus is a personality. Jesus is a human from our point of view, and a human that has achieved and has done a lot for humanity, like many other humans, and around whom a religion has been created. But everything that I'm taking from Jesus is because I choose to do so. It's because I'm attracting it. It's because I'm giving it awareness. So that becomes what it becomes only at that point, because I can ignore it completely and then it doesn't exist for me. And so that is what all of this is awareness, is giving it energy, it making it what it is. Without me being aware of it, it doesn't exist in my reality. It exists in other ways, certainly, but it's, who cares? Because from the moment that it's not in my reality, it's not in my reality. It doesn't exist. There are so many things that exist in this reality. If we take it in a large, right? If we were looking at it as this huge thing that reality is, when we put everyone together. However, that's not what I am doing. I am creating my own reality. So from my own point of view of my own reality that I am creating, only that is attracted by me exists in my reality. It doesn't mean that the rest doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in my reality. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't negate creation in a large scale. That is still there, but not in my reality. So there are many other religions that I have absolutely no idea of. There are many, 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 many beings that I have no idea of. There are many, 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 many the type of foods that I have no idea of. Animals I have no idea of. They still exist, but not in my reality, because I have no conscious, no awareness of that. So it's not there. So the matter of fact is that it's only when I am really giving attention to it, it exists in my reality. And there's where I am directly implicated into what is in my reality, what is relevant, what I keep there, what I let go. And so when it comes to family values and traditions and religion, as I grew up in a religious area with a lot of Christianity in it, a lot of very good people that were just playing blind when I was in a bad situation, where that regarding the religion, I'm not talking about the law, I'm just talking about the religion here, that these people were practicing. So you see that is then, those things then bring you to just think, well, to revalue what is the tradition, what is the real meaning of those cults, and how far they can bring you. And suddenly when you add all of this together, you realize, well, very interesting. However, I can see that no one is really paying attention to it, no one is really applying it, and that answers questions that we may have around those things are not answered. It's not fulfilling anything. And the tradition is giving me an idea of family values that in appearance are very strong, very there. And you see those things in movies, TV shows, and all of that, right? But in my reality, that remains there. It's not applied in the behavior of people. And so that big thing that ought to be creating that environment, that thing, doesn't work. So clearly, then you start wondering. You start turning yourself to something else. And that brings you also to revalue your relationships with these beings that are called family. And that you grew up assigning them a role, a position, a dependency. In regards of what you have been taught and what the religion cult has taught to you. But it's also, right, the traditional family is also based on Jesus's family, with that image of purity, of sanctity, all of that. so such a weight to have on anyone's shoulders, right? Because you have to live up to the expectations of being as good as and maybe even better than, right? Knowing that it's quite impossible because it's that image is only so good that it's not true. So good that it doesn't exist. It's not repeated anywhere. But the original is not like that. So how can you compare yourself to a delusion, right? So all the experience is based on a lie that then keeps you in a lie. But as long as you believe in it, it's all right. It's okay. It's when you start to realize that there are things that where this family is not answering and bringing solutions or help. It doesn't bring solutions or help to a woman that is beaten up by her husband, that has children and no help whatsoever, that is secluded in a or was secluded in a apartment house to take care of everyone, children that have to grow up with some established idea of masculinity, femininity, of what you should become growing up, what you should be growing up, right? Going to school, having to perform at school, and starting early on, having to bring results. Because if you don't, what will you become in the future? You have to be a doctor, a lawyer, to be an astronaut, to work for the government, for a federal agency, to become a 5-star general. Those things you will not become a simply factory worker or whatever of those things, because oh goodness, right, you have to perform and fulfill any idea of success your parents or society have. No one care what you want because you don't exist. You're there to fulfill everyone else's, the external idea of you. You cannot fulfill what you feel inside. And don't worry about the fact that you may have dreams, that you may have anything inside of you. Everyone is there to beat the crap out of that and make you forget about it, right? So that you feel in. So that you confirm to society. Now, remember, all of this is true from an externalized point of view. However, the internal is still there, and this happened not against you, it happens as an experience for you. So it's never against you. It's never the external that defines the internal. It's always the internal that defines everything. And everything internal, because the external doesn't exist. We assign it outside of us, yes. We have the impression that the outside exists, yes, but it doesn't. And it doesn't matter how much we assign the external as real, it does not exist. So everything is external, internalized, everything is created by the self, by the creator that we are. and therefore is never done against you. You're not a victim, even though I put this a little bit like a victimization. It isn't. You're never a victim. You are having experiences. This is a experience, and I'm telling the story as it appears to be. And I guess, right? It's the way it is. It's the way it very often happens. And here is the thing. Looking at this from where I am standing right now, I understand that this story, this is how I see it, right? But I understand that this story, how I see it, is preparing a awakening, is pushing to a awakening, is giving material to questioning, to wondering, to expecting something from all, right? To expect a change, to want the change, because things cannot be like that. They ought to be different. They must be different. They should be different. How can it be different, right? Let's look for the different. Let's search for the difference. I cannot allow reality to be like that. I cannot allow things to be like that. I don't understand. I'm a Christian, Catholic, whatever. This is what the Bible says. Why aren't people behaving like that? Why aren't, right, questioning? And then you go, you understand more, and then you say, well, yeah, but let's just let go of how people are behaving. Why is the Bible saying these things about women, about the Leviticus, right? Why those things are in the Bible? Oh, and they say, oh, that's the Old Testament. Don't pay attention to it because it is old. It's just, but then why is it still in the Bible? Why? Because it's pushing to killing people, and one says, how can you in the Bible say that you have to kill everyone that is not conforming to something, and then you have the 10 laws that have been given by God, where it is clearly said, you shall not kill. One of the 10 fundamental laws of Christianity is that you shall not kill. And the Bible invites you to kill. And the commandments doesn't say there are exceptions to this, right? So well, would you take things like that and you start using these things to give yourself questions, and you see that there aren't answers, because there cannot be answers to these questions, because what can they say? Oh, disregard the Old Testament. Why should I disregard the Old Testament when you are presenting the Bible as one piece of everything? Religion. It's part of it. It's there. It's in there. It's not, I'm not inventing. It's in there. If it's not relevant, well, take it away. But it's still there. So for me, that those things are tools that are giving me material to question it. Questioning it, right? How is it that you shall not kill, and then you have representatives of the cult giving benedictions to weapon, and you know that weapon are created to kill, and that is for I say, well, for in any in every circumstances, I'm saying, well, weapons are created to kill. Don't fuck around with me there. Don't joke with me. Don't pretend. Don't take your high heels to have I know better than you. Weapons are created to kill. End of story. That's what they are made for. So so then for me that was just the end of it. Goodbye. And then, right, my relationship with my traditional family becomes something that from there on, right, to understand, to see myself interacting with that, going through phases of rejection and trying to have a place, to try to, it becomes a fight to be something, to become something, to fulfill expectations, because expectations have always been there, but it was a suffering for a very long time, to try to, and saying that no matter what, I was always rejected, which obviously was my rejection of myself. That, right? Let's be honest. It's not about them, it's about me. I was rejecting myself, and that was shown to me in that way. But that is the personal, it's the about me thing, right? It doesn't take away that the perspective of the family, it's a perspective of rejection. I've been rejected, and if that is originating from myself, from my rejection of the self, yes, but I still have a situation where this being right, that there is the story that we are telling ourselves, the story of the human is there and has experiences, and these are the experiences. So I grew up with this idea of the family, traditional family, and you have to do this and you have to do that, and respect your elder, respect parents, and this kind of things, right? All of that. Until I realized, well, there is rejection there, and I cannot satisfy in any way these people. My father or my stepmother will always reject me. What am I going to do with that? Am I going to try to change their mind and to demonstrate to them that I have value and that they shouldn't do that, etc., etc., or am I just going to accept it and say, well, fuck it, that's the way they see it, be it? And I let go of it. And well, obviously that's, in the end, after years and years of trying, that's what I done. I just said, well, this ends now, and we say goodbye. And you see, that has been the moment where I've seen my value for the very first time. It's the moment where I said, no. It's the moment when I said, that's not me. That's not for me. That's not what I want. I cannot put myself through that all the time. And yes, those beings are playing a role for me, right? They are playing that in my story, right? Because it's my story and it's about me, and it's, yes, absolutely. So that meant that I was telling to myself, I have value, I am worth, and I will not reject myself. That's what I did to myself. I said, I have value. So I stopped putting myself in those situations. And the funny thing is that through all of this, what has happened is that the person that has the most in my childhood, right, in that has the most that had the most terrible or heavy rejection of me, right? My mother, that was abusing me and as a child. Now I have a better, if I can call it better, acceptance of her and my relationship with her than with my father. As a child, was seeing my father as a better person and as a right and as someone that was not violent, not doing any right. I was seeing him in a different light, and now I have a worse relationship with him and his wife. So it's quite the opposite from what was happening before. But here is the thing. It's that in the evolution, in the way that things are right now, it's that the person that is my mother has evolved and changed. And she has this woman that is now identified as my physical mother, has nothing to do with that person that I knew then in those moments as my mother. It's not the same. It's absolutely not the same. When I look to my father and his wife, I see people that are now still in a very sick way, in a mental way, which is living in the past. They are relating to the memory. They are living in the memory. So when I, if I go to see my father or my stepmother in this now, if I'm in a now with them, what I am interacting with is with people that are unable to live in the moment. They are living in the past. And so there is no way. My father always speaks about the past. He's unable to speak about the now. The now doesn't exist for him. So obviously that creates a impossibility of banding together, of having a relationship, because I'm letting go of that, right? And when I think about the past, or it's in a accepting way, not in a suffering way or in a victimization way, I'm seeing it as far behind, is as not me, a version of me, a memory, yes, but not the now. It's not now. It's gone. It's not here and now. And so I can't relate to that. I can't. It's keeping it. It's right. And so and so the relationship with that is that I cannot be dependent. I cannot relate. I cannot stay in that. I have to say no, thank you. And so things have quite changed, right? It has come to something that was completely unexpected. Having the person that was the less expected to change and to present herself in such a different way has changed, completely changed. And then so right, and that is, and these are the experiences that we do with these people that are family, the right parents, and this close thing that we are holding as something, and it is always energy follows awareness. So they exist because we make them exist. We have a physical human family because we give energy to it, and then they do exist. So they literally. So I am fully aware that these beings are my interpretation. It's the energy that I give there. So they exist in this way because I am creating, I am attracting this in this way. So it goes always back to the self for everything, right? We always have to have this. Oh, yes, it's still me. Yes, it's still me. These people, still me. But then we have a story. There is a story. We're telling ourselves a story, and the story is real. The thing is that what becomes now important is that, and for me, that this is now all right. This is understood. It's in the understanding. Is that there is no dependency. We always have beings that are in our reality, right? We interact as human beings. We do interact with other beings that co-create moments with us, right? What we have with family is that there is a relationship of dependency, which becomes a drug, right? We feed each other with drama, with fights, with experiences. In the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a drug. It's an addiction. So understand the addiction. I'm not saying don't get out of any relationship with anyone or with any family you have, because no, I'm not saying that. What I see for myself is that I've understood the addiction. I understood the drug, what that is, and so I'm keeping myself out of that aspect of the relationship. So for instance, I know that my stepmother, I can't have a relationship with her that is not a relationship of addiction, because because the encounter, the context, the whatever is going to be held in the past. It's still related to the past. It's still related to. So I'm not going to put myself in the situation. I'm not going to allow that to be done to me. I have too much love for myself to bring myself in a situation that I know toxic, right? So I say, I don't need it. I don't have to. No obligation at all to have any relationship with a person that I know is going to have a toxic interaction. And I know that there are many people saying, oh, you have to say what you have to say. You have to confront these things. You have to go into that because you don't have to. That's bullshit. You don't have to. That's absolutely a no. You have to know yourself. You have to do what you feel you have to do, right? It's your choice, but you don't have to do anything. And especially you don't have to put yourself in a situation that is toxic. So I know that is toxic. So I say, no, I will not get into that. And it's my choice. And I'm not losing anything, and I am not going into a karmic circle of keeping ourselves in there, and you will have to play that out in another life and blah, blah, blah. No. Forget, we're not in that. If that would, it's not now. That is not where we are at right now. That's gone. Don't keep yourself into beliefs that have nothing to do. If you want, you can, but it's that at that moment, it's your belief system. Something will play out, but you don't have to, because that's only a belief. If someone is toxic, goodbye. You don't have to play out the relationship. You don't have to play out the toxicity, because then it's you doing it to yourself. 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 It's not them. It's you. So knowing that, say, okay, no need. Bye. And I see, right? I have there is this opportunity that I see for Christmas my father, and you just have to come and see me. So even that is too much, and even that, my stepmother is saying, no, I don't want to, you don't take the car. She's putting already all the barriers that she can. And so I said, well, if the opportunity is there, if you don't want to take, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I will not, right? I know my boundaries, and I will not move from that, because that is what it is. And I've learned that, because I've done this so many times, of putting boundaries and then not respecting the boundaries. So disrespecting myself. This time I have decided that I will not go in her house, in their house, right? I will not go there, no matter what. And obviously, what has happened is that the thing has come up. So she said, why don't they come here? And so I said, no, I will not. This is out of question. And you see, that is me saying exactly the boundaries, what I am ready to do and what I'm not ready to do. I'm ready to see my father, but I'm not ready to see him under any circumstances. I will put the limits. And I will stick with that because I have now admitted to myself and I have accepted that not respecting my boundaries lead only to one thing: disrespecting myself, devaluing myself. And now that I have seen my value, now that I understand my value, I am not ready to compromise. I am not ready to not respect my own boundaries. So everything comes back to me. Everything comes back to me. Not them, to me. Because this is the true family value is the self. It's not them. It's me. It's you. It's you, the self. That's the family value. It's what you value yourself. It's not them, it's you. Because you are all of your family. And you are all that you need, or all that you are. And when you put boundaries, especially into this period, that right, with as I was saying before, all this stuff, that all this weight that is put it in this December, yes, December, and all of this religious stuff, all that weight. What are you going to do? Oh my goodness. Well, I will respect myself. And that's all I have to do. It's that. My boundaries, myself, me. And when I do that, well, I will discover this relationship with those people that I didn't know I have. I will discover these people in a different way. And I already said, I discovered, I met, when I met my mother a year ago, something like that. So I met and I couldn't recognize her. I didn't know whom that woman was. I said, I don't know her. She's not that woman that I remember. She's another woman. Well, she looks like she has, yes, but she's not that. And she changed. She's not that thing that she was in my childhood. She's another person. She's changed, and I can assure people do change a lot, a huge way when you allow that change. But it's because you change too. Your change appears in the way you relate to those people, and then you allow them to change. But first, it's you, obviously. It's always you. I changed, so she changed. I changed my relationship. I changed the way I related to her, not through the memory. And I had a new person in front of me, a person that I didn't know. So go back to the self, as always. Your family value is you. There is no anything, no other. There is nothing else. And this being, again, they exist because you exist. They exist because you relate to them. Energy follows awareness. So you are aware of having a father and a mother, and sister, siblings, and cousins and uncle and aunts and this kind of things, right? So yeah, you're aware of that, and they come to you when energy follows awareness, right? As always. So if you really want to, well, this is the way to go. And family becomes something that is unknown. It's a choice and it's up to you. And all of that is related to you, to your value, to what, to your worthiness. And that's all the family values that you need. You. And once you have you, the rest follows. All right, so hello, Rox is here, Odyssey of Ascension, and go and so Roxy done an amazing live. It was 2 days ago, I think. Go and check it on Odyssey of Ascension. Just absolutely. I mean, it's always recommended to see and watch Roxy's videos and wisdom and interaction. There is a lot. It's always such a amazing moment and so much love that she gives to everyone. And yes, thank you for everyone. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to switch to my Patreon. So I'll have a second one on my Patreon, accessible only on my Patreon. So obviously I invite everyone to join my Patreon to access many videos and channeling that I'm doing there. So thank you so much for joining in to be here. I always appreciate everyone that is participating and sharing these moments with me. And I will be seeing you in the next now. And let's go to the Patreon page. Bye-bye.